Good morning, children, not present here. I'm Ramya Devi, working as assistant professor in SNS College of Technology. Today, I'm going to share a small article regarding functions in JavaScript. A function in JavaScript is a reusable block of code designed to perform a specific task. Functions help organize code into smaller modules, making programs easier to read, maintain, and reuse. In web development, functions are widely used to perform operations such as validating forms, handling events, processing data, and interacting with web pages. Instead of writing the same code repeatedly, we can place the code inside a function and call the function whenever it is needed. A JavaScript function is defined using the function keyword followed by the function name parenthesis and a block of code. So this is the syntax of a function. So it contains so it contains a function keyword, a function name, and then the parameters. So the function keyword is used to define. So that block of code is a function, and the function name is used to define the name of the function, and parameters inputs passed through the function, and the function body code that performs a particular task. So there are many types of functions. So the first one is named function, function with parameters, function with return value, anonymous function, arrow function, default parameter, and then the callback function. So this is an example of a named function. Here we have a function keyword followed by a function name. The function name is eligible and then the parameter passed as age. And then it has a return keyword for returning a particular task has been done. So the task of this function is to check whether the age is eligible for voting or not. So if the parameter passed age is greater than 18, so then the function performs that it is eligible for voting, or otherwise it is not, they are not eligible for voting. So this is the particular task of a function. So it has a function name, a parameter, and then a return statement. So this is a function type which has two parameters called price and quantity, which returns the price into quantity. So here we have two parameters called price and quantity, and the arguments can be passed like 5 or 3, and then whenever it is written, it will return the number 15 to the line of code which has been the function has been invoked. And every function or function can have a return value or it cannot have a return value. Sometimes a function needs to send a value back to the caller. This is done using the return statement. So like we have seen before examples. So in the named function, these are function declared with the name, and there are another function called anonymous function. A function without a name is called an anonymous function. And then are often used, and these types of functions are often used in event handling and callbacks. And this is an example of an arrow function, functions which is introduced in ES6 to provide a shorter syntax. So here there is a constant keyword determined as const, and then add as a function name. Here we have two parameters called a and b, and which adds the two numbers and return back. So arrow functions are commonly used in modern JavaScript frameworks like React. So the main advantages of using functions are the code reusability. A function can be used multiple times without rewriting the code, and the modularity. Large programs can be divided into smaller manageable parts, and whenever we are using functions, it is very easy for debugging it. So errors can be easily identified within an individual functions, and it provides a better readability of a program because the codes become more structured and understandable. So when we see a real-time example of a function, so we have an case study called here. We are going to validate whether the username and the password. So we have a web application in which we are going to enter the username and password, and we'll check whether that is valid or not. So for checking the username should be completely of characters, and then we are checking it in that function. And for validating the password length should be greater than 8. So this is the main criteria for checking whether the password is valid or not. And we have another function for registering the user. So in which we are sending both the username and password as the argument, and then we are validating that username, and then we are validating the password, and we are checking whether the username is completely character and the password is greater than 8. And then if both are correct, and we are using a logical operator for checking it, and if both are correct, the registration is successful, or otherwise it will throw an error as invalid username or password. So like this only the functions are used in the JavaScript. Thank you.